Okay, so me and Jason Burmis couldn't agree on the next story to cover. We each have a different story we want to cover. So we're going to cover both of them in this video. Jason has a video where he wants to talk about some teachers' bagungungs and some story that he thinks is an identity politics story. That's not an identity politics story. We disagreed. I want to
cover. Let me tell you something,
I want to cover
guys.
Little Vest Man. I think Little Vest Man is okay. Give me 5 minutes, Jason. We're gonna cover my story.
You'll get your 5 minutes.
Story about the teachers' bagungungs.
It's
and
not.
Then we'll let the audience. We will let the audience decide which story they like better.
Sounds great. Go nuts. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my first story is a tweet from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And she tweeted, "Does live from the border mean Party City? Fox is really out here doing the most on a budget to make the border look more dangerous than it is," highlighting a photo from Fox News contributor Lawrence Jones III, who is the editor-in-chief of Campus Reform. He is a contributor for the Sean Hannity Show, and he is pictured here. And what looks like a little teeny weeny baby-sized vest around him in a very sinister look right behind Border Patrol police officers with him on the Mexican border, of course, reporting on the influx of migrants coming across into the United States from Mexico. And people are saying that this is totally ridiculous. This reporter is actually coming out and saying, no, I needed to stay alive because of the drug cartels control the other side of the border. And again, I just call absolute hooey. To me, this was an absolute stunt. There's other journalists who did other reporting, like Jacob Buroff, who says it's totally ridiculous. He covered the border and never had Border Patrol give him this little tiny eeny beeny vest that he was allegedly given by Border Patrol, calling out the hypocrisies. I personally went down to Tijuana. I went down also to Michoacan. I went to Acapulco. I went to some of the most craziest parts of Mexico, and it is definitely exaggerated to have something as small on you where it wouldn't protect you even from a spitball. So just on optics alone, absolutely ridiculous. Even having one person respond on Twitter saying, quote, "You're brave to go down there in such a little vest. You could lose a nipple." Again, I think there does deserve to be some scrutiny. There is an influx of people coming in. This is scrutiny specifically on Fox News on the right. There also needs to be some scrutiny in other news publications that are trying to normalize coyotes. There's, again, people who are bringing migrants across the border illegally. That I saw that on USA Today. That also needs to be criticized. But to me, the optics here are absolutely ridiculous. They need to be called out. And I can't believe I am agreeing with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on the ridiculousness of this done by Mr. Lawrence Jones III. That's my story. What about anything you want to say about this, by the way, Jason?
Yeah, Luke, I'd love to say that we're going to get to some real news in a moment and not some Tommy boy, fat guy in a little coat story that really has no relevance whatsoever. The guy's making the
media
claim.
Manipulation, propaganda.
I guess. I don't know. Even media manipulation with the other one where they said he looked so serious and mean, and there he is with his little smile. So who knows? Maybe he's lying. Maybe the Border Patrol didn't give it to him.
He took a photo making sure he looked tough. He looked on video. Sure, that's another. It's his own personal Twitter account. He's trying to send out a message out there. He's doing something. Come on, that looks like you got it literally at Toys R Us. All right. If you got nothing else to say, introduce your bagungung story.
And in real news.
And how is this identity politics, by the way? Go ahead.
Again, it says gender discrimination. I don't know what you would refer to identity politics as, but this certainly seems to fit the bill for me. This middle school teacher was fired after a student obtained a topless photo of her. And this is out of New York, so it's close to home to both of us. However, I actually care about this story because it's ridiculous. Anybody who follows my stuff knows that I am a huge advocate against child abuse, trafficking, the elite sex trade, and all of that stuff. And especially when people abuse their authoritative powers and sexually take advantage of children and students. I'm one of the only people that really reports on this. You go to my Twitter feed, you'll see it all the time. This teacher didn't do that. She didn't do that. If you take a look at her, and obviously, look, let's be honest, she's pretty easy on the eyes. She's somewhat attractive. I remember when I was a teenage boy in high school and we had an attractive teacher, there was locker room talk. It wasn't grab 'em by the hey with Trump, but things were said. So obviously, if the internet was a little bit bigger, and as you read the story, one of the students gets a hold of her picture and then shows it to other students. Now we're going to scroll and just take a look at this, just so everybody knows how non-racy this really was. So it's censored, obviously, but it's her in a towel sending a picture to her boyfriend at the time, who then leaked it online. Now, I know there are cases out there, for instance, where you had teachers who were engaging in group sex online and posting that to Pornhub. I get why they don't have jobs anymore. But basically, she walks into the principal's office. The principal has the picture, not edited, up on his screen, shows it to her, and basically says that she can no longer be a role model for these students because of this, and fires her. I think that is gender discrimination. I think 110% she is going to win this case. And if she was not acting inappropriately in the classroom, I don't see what the problem is. In fact, I don't see what the problem is. I've seen some teachers out there that have engaged in modeling, photo shoots, nude, semi-nude photographs, and come under heat. I can understand the heat, but if they're not doing anything of a profoundly sexual nature that can be obtained by students, I don't see what the problem is. We have a First Amendment in this country. It's called freedom of speech. And I think that you're allowed to have a life outside of your day job and your career. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the other story was better. I don't know. Luke, you got any thoughts on this one?
Jason, hypothetically, as a testosterone-filled, sprung teenager, would you be able to concentrate if you were a teenager in that class after you saw your teacher's tatas? Would that be an easy task for you to do?
We act like this has never happened before. We also act like we also like listen. Again.
This is why the principal was like, hey, you can't be, the students are going to keep passing around the nude photos. Now, again, I don't think she should be fired. Maybe transferred somewhere else where they don't know that the photo exists. Because as a student, if I was a student, it's going to be hard to have the class's respect, attention, when, of course, someone sees the tatas out there. You know?
Your argument is completely insane. Photoshop has been around and avidly used for the greater part of 20 plus years. Any of these students probably have access to that in the computer labs, as it is the norm now. So within 10 minutes, anybody with any Photoshop skills can take any attractive teacher they have and put it on a topless woman, print that out on a photo, and then distribute it around.
Sound like you're talking from experience.
I'm just telling you, it's just not a thing. Folks, I do 4 thumbnails a day. I can't tell you how intimate me and Photoshop are. I can tell you that Luke and his argument do not hold up in this case. This is a freedom of speech issue, and this is a gender identity politics issue in my mind, and an important story. I'm rooting for her. I hope she actually wins, and I hope she gets, if not a job at this school, but a job somewhere else, as long as she's qualified as a teacher.
Hey, I think she should work somewhere else. I think that would be the smart, legitimate compromise. But again, I don't see this as kind of identity politics. I don't see this as a big thing, because if it would happen to a dude, I think a similar thing would happen. That's just my own take. I may be wrong. But again, you guys decide. You guys are here. You guys are the audience. You guys pretty much allow us to exist with your donations, with you subscribing, with you watching. We're only here because of you. So let us know what you thought. Do you like story 1 or story 2? Story 1, a little tiny vest border fox dude. Story 2, teacher tatas. Let us know in the comment section below. Just press 1 or 2. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love your feedback. I have nothing else to say. Do you want to close it off, Jason?
Yeah, folks, we are doing 4 videos a day, and actually Luke is wrong. They made the argument in here that it isn't the same thing as a guy, because if a guy had a topless photo, no one would care. In fact, guys have topless photos all the time.
Guys don't send topless photos.
That's not true, dude. Guys do. Listen, you got a little
Did you ever send a topless photo?
I've done that, yeah. Listen, I'm not gonna. I've never.
Okay.
I've never sent the pork and beans over the internet. But I'll tell you right now. Hey, when I'm doing push-ups and I'm hitting the weight room and there's some trap action, maybe a little chest, it's happened. It's happened. That's all I'm saying. But that's not what this is about, folks. It's about the truth, and it's about 4 videos a day between We Are Change and Pulse Change. We need your support, so please, please, please subscribe to both. Ring that bell. If you don't ring that bell, you won't know when these things come out. Share it on social media, but most importantly, get out there and be the change you want to see in the world.